Welcome, everyone, to the Swords of Power Hour. I am your host, G. Rowe, the most powerful G in the universe. Anyways, first off, thanks for watching. In this video, we're going to do a quick rundown of the Masters of the Universe Revelation teaser trailer and what I think looks to be an order of the story. Then we're going to play a few clips from the original series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from Filmation, from back in the day, and how it relates to what we know so far. Then we're going to take a bit of a dive off the deep end into the to mythos. So there are possible spoilers. Beware. It always begins and ends with Castle Grayskull. Amazing animation, everyone. This is a beautiful shot. I can't wait for the series to premiere on July 23rd. The beginning here, we see a mysterious figure riding on a Stridor, who they set free in the original series, so this is very interesting. We see them approaching the castle. This cloaked figure appears to be He-Man. Here we see the sorceress in her Zoar form greeting He-Man, and then in her true form on the drawbridge. And then at some point soon after, it looks as though the sorceress is being attacked, where she then summons the power of Grayskull to come to her defense. We see some cool imagery here, very nice stuff. And then, I'm not sure if this is the correct order, but I think this is where we see Faker grab the sorceress from behind, and Skeletor probably then says, "Call your champion." And then we proceed to see sorceress be like, "Okay," and blow this fool up sky high. Man, that looks so cool. Blink and you miss if you see in the background, it looks like to be Clawful and Stridor. Maybe that Stridor is actually, in fact, Night Stalker in disguise somehow. Then we get to see the castle light up like the 4th of July, and then to Eterno's palace. Now we see the throne room. And where's the king and queen? Not here, but will Adam be king one day by the end of this series? Who knows? Cringer looking chill. Unusually chill considering what's going on right here. But yeah, we see a beautiful transformation sequence and some very cool banners in the background featuring moon, stars, and the sun kind of deal. In the next shot, we could see that he has that same logo on his belt buckle. Is that important? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. I love that in this scene we see that they chose a teenage look for Prince Adam rather than the yoked out, loked out Prince Adam from the Filmation series, where he looked basically just like He-Man. Chest logo is super cool. Looks awesome. Battle Cat just looking amazing. Here they go off to battle Skeletor in what looks to be just an epic battle. A battle we've never seen on this proportion before. Here we have Teela leading the Eternian Guard with Fisto and Clamchamp at her side. First time we've ever seen Clamchamp in film form. Eternian Palace Guards looking badass. A bunch of Rotons everywhere. Things getting shot up everywhere. Castle Grayskull shooting stuff. There's just a bunch of stuff going on here. The Skelecons and the Hoverbots. He-Man like, nah, you ain't getting in here. We got the Skelecons being rumbled on. Man-at-Arms sprinting like nobody's business. Cracking Trapjaw right in the face. Here we see Clamchamp putting it down with this big old clamp. And then here we see Beastman on a Bashosaurus, which is supposed to be a heroic vehicle. What's up with that? Bam, He-Man just smiling like, nah, dude, I got this. I love this part. Just tossing him like, nah, get out of here. Dude, here comes Triclops on what we see a new jet sled, war sled. It's purple. Looks like a more of a cobra than a regular snake. And take a look at that. Blink and you miss it. Look at all the little purple and little orange on that battlefront. Like, this is an all-out war for Castle Grayskull. There are so many soldiers on that battleground. It's insane. Triclops just smiling, having a good old evil time with the brown eye. That's kind of weird, but I have brown eyes, so it's all good. Back to the previous shot. Doesn't he remind you of Bowser from Mario Brothers? He looks freaking cool. Here we see Whiplash getting kicked. And then we see Clawful and the Landshark. And we see Roboto hammering down something. Electronic power sword? Maybe, maybe not. Teela, Evelyn fighting what appears to be inside Castle Grayskull. There's the origin of Evelyn's little wand. Then we see them fighting somewhere else where He-Man and Skeletor finally fight, which is awesome. I'll call this the garden scene. Where, yeah, again, like I said, they're fighting. Evelyn and Tila pick up their fight from earlier. And then Mossman makes an appearance, apparently, according to this promotional image. And also, we know he's coming out in the toy line. Skeletor looks so freaking cool. Love He-Man. Bam. See Skeletor using his Havoc staff to summon this giant form. Maybe it's that Skelegod thing that we saw on the toy that's coming out as well. Here we see He-Man taking off like Goku. Bam! Boom! Alakazam! That just looks awesome, everybody. I can't wait for Masters of the Universe Revelation to come out on Netflix July 23rd. Part 1, of course. I'll do a separate video for a bunch of stuff coming up soon. So back to those clips, everybody. Here's a few clips from the original Filmation series, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Starting with the shaping staff. We know it's relevant because we've seen it in this promotional image of him holding the staff, Skeletor, of course, and also the toy comes with this particular relic as well. So without further ado, here they are.
Evelyn! Beastman! You fiends dare to come to Palace Eternia itself?
I dare anything, Your Highness. Now that I wield the shaping staff, this legendary wand can transform any matter in the universe.
How does this relate to our beloved Faker, the evil robot version of He-Man? Let's see in this next clip.
Wait! Stop!
With this staff, I can rescue Faker from the bottomless gorge. But first, you and I have some unfinished business.
Well, better late than never, old bonehead. Took you almost 40 years, but yeah, finally he's gonna bring back Faker. And it looks as though, as quick as we lost him the first time, we're gonna lose him again. Looks like he gets blown away very early on in the series, but I'm really happy to see him in his blue form. I think that's really cool. Can't wait to see if Skeletor uses a shaping staff for other stuff. We'll find out, I guess. There's a nice piece of Filmation footage looking like how she blows up Faker in the clip that we just saw. So from what we know about the series, it's gonna be a lot about Tila. I know a lot of fans are kind of iffy or upset about this. I've seen a lot of negative stuff online about it, which you know, anyways, that's another story. But this next clip here is very crucial to Tila's story, and honestly, I'm very excited to be alive and see this next chapter. For them to finally reveal all of the secrets, starting with hers. I think this is a big jumping off point, and honestly, I don't think that they could have started with a better premise for the next installment of the Masters of the Universe saga. Like the Sorceress of Grayskull, Tila Na, is, I think, most likely gonna die, or maybe be just restricted to her Zoar form outside of Grayskull. But honestly, big time, I think that she's going to probably die, and that Tila is going to embark on her journey to become the new Sorceress of Grayskull. And I also think that Adam's going to go on his journey somewhere else, which we'll get into in a little while later on in the video, and also becoming a man. Like, we see him as a teenager, and then he becomes He-Man. You know, we all know that, but like, Adam has never really grown up. Like, I think we're gonna get to see that as well. I do feel that Tila is going to be the highlight of the first part, the one that comes out on July 23rd. We'll probably get to see He-Man and everything, but he'll probably be a lot in the second part. So don't worry, fans. We're going to get to see plenty of He-Man from another crucial episode, Tila's Quest.
Oh, Oracle, finish your tale. Tell me of my mother.
Young Man-at-Arms had driven off Merman and made his way to the Falcon's nest. Inside the nest was a baby girl. It was the sorceress's young daughter. With the passing of her husband, she had brought the child to the mountain to raise her in peace. But after Merman's attack, the Falcon knew that without a real home, the baby would never be truly safe. The young warrior's heart went out to the child, and he promised to care for her all his days. You are that child, Tila.
That means my mother is the sorceress of Grayskull. Mother? Yes. You are my own daughter, and someday you will take my place as the mystic guardian of Grayskull. But for now, you have other deeds to do. And until that time when your special destiny calls, you must forget what you have learned today. She will only remember that her mother was a woman who loved her very much.
And also that I was the most swellest of all the falcons. And likewise, you were the fairest of all the falcon babies. I personally got to give a huge shout out to Kevin Smith and the folks over at Netflix and Mattel for putting out Masters of the Universe Revelation. I, for one, am super excited. Thank you so much. This is where we take a swan dive with a half gainer right into the abyss of Grayskull. So, like Castle Grayskull says, it's a fortress of mystery and power for He-Man and his foes. We're going to dive deep into a bunch of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe mythology. There's a bunch of stuff involved with the toys, with the cartoon series, with the mini comics. It's going to go all over the place, but I'm going to try to keep it focused and overall tell a story where I think the direction of the story could go personally based on what I've seen. And just hopefully, I really hope that I get to see all these things that were kind of introduced towards the later end of the original toy line and the mini comics and the story and just everything. It's my personal belief that a lot of the original toys and mini comics and stuff that came out towards the very end of the original Masters of the Universe line has a lot to do with what we're gonna see in Revelation.
Hello to King Randall.
There was some stuff that they kind of introduced, but by the 1987, about the time that the live-action motion picture came out, the line was already kind of tanking at that point because of a number of things we won't get into right now, but they really did introduce a lot of stuff that we didn't really get to see come to fruition. Well, hopefully we get them when we're 40. What secrets does Mattel have in store?
The Masters of the Universe.
So in the wonderful original Masters of the Universe toy line, we had an amazing assortment of just a bunch of cool, colorful, fun characters. But one thing that always stood out was Tila, the warrior goddess, which she had this snake armor that you could remove to give her kind of two different looks. One of the very early mini comics, The Tale of Tila, we see her as a clone of the sorceress. There's other stuff going on here we won't get into, but anyways, in the Mike Young Productions series from the early 2000s, we see that the sorceress and this wounded soldier are actually the biological parents of Tila. I do believe officially that it was supposed to be revealed that Fisto was in fact her father. Sadly, another story that we didn't get to see finished. Here's a wonderful shot of Tila in her Masters of the Universe Classics forms with the with and without the snake armor. Here's a shot of the Green Goddess, an early mini comic character. Maybe we'll see her as that. Who knows? The Green Goddess in their Origins figure. Now, who's this handsome devil? Here we have Keldor in all his evil glory. First hinted at in this OG Masters of the Universe mini comic, The Search for Keldor, circa 1986. It wouldn't be until August 16th, 2002, that we would in fact find out that that handsome devil was Skeletor. Yes, in the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon from Mike Young Productions, we find out that that dude is Skeletor. For those new to He-Man, if you've never seen that series, I highly recommend it. It's a great series. You're going to love it. The first episode, titled The Beginning, tells a bunch of story you may not know. I highly recommend it. You're going to love it. We'll actually bring that episode up in a few minutes from now regarding some other stuff. But anyways, back to the comic The Search for Keldor. So we know he was Keldor in that cartoon series, but how does this relate to the original line, the original story, and Revelation to be more relevant? I think it's highly likely that we're going to see this. Tila's secret or revelation is only going to be the beginning of the secrets. Like, there are going to be so many secrets revealed. There's going to be all kinds of cool stuff that we're going to find out. So we already know the dirt that Keldor is Skeletor, Skeletor is Keldor. But let's just take a quick dive into the comic for fun.
G-Bro says, here we go.
Here we see King Randor on the first page say, "Do you remember the stories of my brother Adam?" "Keldor? But he vanished years ago!" Say what? Meanwhile, at Snake Mountain, Skeletor spies with his evil viewing globe on the Masters.
"The fools! They must never discover the secret of Keldor, for that knowledge could destroy me."
Haha. Anyways, we see that in the story, King Randor is trying to find out what happened to his long-lost brother Keldor. We see that Faker's heavily involved in the story, which is cool as well, in his blue skin form. And that also Skeletor will stop at nothing to keep Randor and the sorceress from getting this vital information. I think it's all connected, people. Here's a shot of Keldor from his proposed figure from the current Mattel Masters of the Universe Origins line. It was the fan vote figure. Triclops ended up winning that vote, so we didn't get to see this figure just yet. Maybe they will make it, but these figures did get made into the Origins line. If they're introducing it into the toy line, it kind of makes sense that they're introducing it to the story. And isn't the whole purpose of a cartoon to kind of sell toys? At least that's what the original series was. Back to that episode, The Beginning, that I mentioned earlier from the Mike Young production series that came out in 2002. That very first episode. I know it's called The Beginning, but that's actually the name of the episode in case you missed that. It's The Beginning. The Beginning, The Beginning. Anyways, this toy, they look exactly like they did in that cartoon. In fact, on the box cover, we see Keldor and Cronus, the Rise of Evil 2-pack, Dark Origins of two of Eternia's evil warriors. Just like we saw in that episode, you see the Hall of Wisdom in the back, which is what they were trying to, go get the power and all that stuff. And then, right here in this image here, we see that the recreation, which is the back of the toy box, but it looks just like the scene that we saw in that cartoon. I think everything's connected, guys. I think that they're trying to incorporate all these stories that were kind of never resolved into one big thing, one big final bang. I've heard, but I'm not sure, that Mattel might lose the license for Masters of the Universe in 2023, I think, and it all rights revert to Universal. I'm not so sure of what's going on with that, but if that's true, it would make sense that they would try to put as much media and sell as many toys as possible. Only time will tell, but I know personally I'm going to buy multiples probably of every single thing they put out, so I cannot wait to see what happens. Pull my royal finger! Anyways, I'm handsome. Looking good. To further support my insane fanboy theory, check out the premise to the official Masters of the Universe Revelation prequel comic coming out from Dark Horse. The description says, following the vicious Orlax attack on King Randor, He-Man learns the creature is linked to the origin of the Sword of Power, and also to his nemesis Skeletor, who is hell-bent on deciphering the secret of Grayskull. Meanwhile, we learn the true origin of Evelyn and how she came to be under the evil and powerful Skeletor, the official prequel to the upcoming Netflix show. Very exciting stuff, folks. This comic's going to be pretty badass. Who knows what we're going to see in it. The comic covers just look amazing. We see the first one that has He-Man, Teela, Evelyn, and Skeletor. The first one is set to release July 7th. It's going to be badass. We'll see what secrets we find out. There's a shot of the second cover. Very nice. See Snake Mountain in the background and Skeletor like, ha ha ha. But this is the third issue. Where we do find out the origin of the Power Sword and something with Skeletor and perhaps the Horde, guys. Hordak's gonna have something to do with this. It's not talking about the origin of Skeletor without Hordak, like we seen on that Rise of Evil 2-pack in the clouds. You thought I forgot to mention it, but nah, I was saving the best for last. Hopefully we get to see something with the Horde. That would just be awesome. So, which brings me to the next mini comic that I think super important that came out towards the very end of the line. Man, Skeletor, enter the ultimate battleground. And nothing in Eternia will ever be the same, for the towers are the ultimate battleground. On the left we have Grayskull Tower, on the right Viper Tower, and in the middle we have the powerful Central Tower. He-Man exclaims, "What trick is this? The land which used to separate Castle Grayskull from Snake Mountain has been changed. And these towers." Soon inside Castle Grayskull, there is much you don't know about our past, including the 3 towers of Eternia. Eons ago, before the Castle Grayskull, stood Grayskull Tower, a symbol of goodness. There also stood a Viper Tower, a symbol of all that is evil. Between the two, yet ever connected, stood Central Tower. Central Tower held power, both good and evil, drawn from the 2 other towers. This was the ultimate power! The ancients were afraid of it and would fall into the hands of their greatest enemy, King Hiss. So they buried it. This is where things get real, folks. Fellow Eternians, Earthlings, and Etherians alike. I think that this has a big part to do with the story. I think that not only Skeletor is going to take over Castle Grayskull, but he's going to discover the secrets of the Central Tower. This is how he becomes that Skelegod thing that we saw. I know it seems kind of crazy, guys, but I really do think that that's where the direction that they're going. We see in the earlier of my video in the beginning that they first fought at Castle Grayskull, and then they were somewhere else. That's where we saw Mossman and we saw Skeletor and He-Man finally fight. So it could be something that's possible, guys. Even we see this in the premise for the actual story of Masters of the Universe Revelation. A radical return to Eternia. Revelation is a direct sequel to the classic era of Masters of the Universe. After a ferocious final battle forever fractures Eternia, it's up to Teela to solve the mystery of the missing Sword of Power in a race against time to prevent the end of the universe. The premise literally says a ferocious battle forever fractures Eternia. What more would fracture Eternia than freaking big ass towers coming out of the middle of the ground? That would like crack a planet in half, kind of like the spell of separation, perhaps. I doubt it. I think it's gonna be the towers. Here's one of the very beautiful maps that came with the subscriptions to Masters of the Universe Classics. I forget what year this was, but this is a map of Subternia. And we can see that Castle Grayskull and the Central Tower are connected. In the middle we see Procrustes, which we won't get into right now, and the Starseed, which is something that they did introduce into the original Filmation series. Eternia was at the center of the Big Bang when everything was created. Eternia was at the very center of everything, and this Starseed was a remnant of that blast, and it was left behind in the very center of the universe, which is where Eternia is and all the power lies. That's why all of this crazy stuff has to do with Castle Grayskull. It's always been part of the mystery, part of the wonderful beautifulness of Masters of the Universe, and why I love it so freaking much. It's all connected, folks. I don't know if they're going to bring up the Starseed or not, but really cool episode with Zodak and a very deep dive into Motos lore. Back to the beautiful map of Subternia. If you look at the bottom, it straight up says Subternia during the reign of King Skeletor. Back to the fact where I say, it's all connected. Yeah, dudes, it's all connected. I really do feel that this is going to be a big part of it. And that, yeah, I guess we'll see King Skeletor or whatever he's going to call himself. Skelegod, whatever. We all know about Eternia now, a little bit about Subternia, but let's talk about Preternia, where the powers of Grayskull and the legend begins. This is the final mini comic I will be talking about. This is the very, very, very last mini comic from the original vintage toy line. I strongly believe this comic is going to be very important into what we don't know about what's going to happen in Masters of the Universe Revelation. The cover states first of a 3-part saga. The original toy line ended prematurely, like I mentioned earlier in the video, like around 87. Parts 2 and 3 were sadly never released. Will we get to see this story in Revelation? I do believe so. We can see in this next panel that the sorceress is taking He-Man through a door that he's never been through before. In this next panel, the sorceress proceeds to explain that this is a gateway formed by the power of the cosmic key that we saw in the 1987 film, but I'm not sure that they're going to be using elements from that, but maybe, we'll see. Right off the bat, she says that they're going back in time. Back to Eternia, eons before he was born. Time travel. This gate is taking them to what is now referred to as Preternia. Looks like from what we know about the story, Skeletor finally wins. We don't know how or how that happens, but we're going to see that very soon. But something ends up happening to He-Man. I do believe that he gets sent to the past. This explains why Teela is going to lead the show, and he's kind of going to get sidelined. I think in the first part, maybe not so much in the second part. Let's go into that a little bit. Here we see He-Man in his Preternia disguise, very much like the Stridor scene in the trailer. Preternia is filled with tons of technovirus dinosaurs, giants, monsters, and tons of snake men bad guys. The main part of the story introduces a mysterious new warrior who fights against the evil snake men. He also has the power to time travel. He-Man even calls him the greatest sorcerer of all. Whoever could this be? Who is this mysterious new hero? Wait, that's his name too? Hero? Okay, cool. That was easy. Travel back in time through a secret time portal and discover the origin of the powers of Grayskull. Learn how He-Man became so strong and explore the magical world of Preternia, home of Hero, the most powerful wizard in the universe. Wielding the power of natural magic. Ancestor to He-Man, young Grey transforms into Hero of Grayskull. Accompanied by the wise and powerful Eldor, heroic guardian of the Book of Living Spells. The Book of Living Spells contains the ultimate secrets of Preternia, the secrets of transformation. Thus, whenever Eldor opens it, he can uncover all the secrets of the past, present, and the future of Eternia. And change it, for nothing on Preternia stays the same, as you will soon see. Look for Hero and the Powers of Grayskull, coming your way in 1987. Yeah, guys, that didn't happen. So a handful of these figures got released, but that was about it. We never got to see the full story, part 2 and 3 of the comics, and everything else that they might have introduced. I do believe that this is another secret going to be revealed. Will we finally get to see the powers of Grayskull?
Extra, extra, read all about it. Who's the mysterious hero, this so-called most powerful wizard in the universe? What secrets will he reveal? And what does he have to do with the missing sword of power?
Alright, now back to the premise. The final battle forever fractures Eternia, as I also mentioned earlier in the video about the ultimate battleground. Part 2 of the premise. It's up to Tila to solve the mystery of the missing sword of power in a race against time to prevent the end of the universe. Once again, thank you very much for joining me on this crazy, wild adventure. I've told you what I think is going to happen in this new exciting chapter of Masters of the Universe. But there's some stuff where who knows what's going to happen. And here's my take on what I think it mixes together, and like a good rug, it's going to really tie everything together. Well, maybe it's a bug in the rug. Here's that awesome scene of Scareglow that I did not show earlier. I bet you guys were wondering why not. This is where I think it all ties together. I think that in this fight that we see is the future versions of Evelyn and Tila and Orko. From what it looks to be like the caverns of Castle Grayskull, we see Orko back at some serious trial in heat, blocking Shang Tsung, Scareglow's attack. But take a look at that doorway in the background. Here's another savage He-Man theory. You guys probably think this dude is crazy. It's all connected. Here's Scareglow from his Masters of the Universe Classics figure. Check out this fancy thing. This is the relic that came with Scareglow. It is what we look like a reliquary or something like that has a key to Castle Grayskull inside of it. What is this?
Scareglow, real name Kerak Nool, evil ghost serving Skeletor. In life, Nool was a shifty bounty hunter who spent years attempting to break into Castle Grayskull, obsessed with legends that within lay the power to become master of the universe. In death, he was cursed and banished into the dimension of furniture, forever chained to his past crimes. He was brought back to Eternia by a magical spell of light, cast by Skeletor himself to locate the most evil warriors in the 5 dimensions.
Anywho, my peeps, I feel that this is the key to Tila reuniting the Masters of the Universe. With or without an actual key, Scareglow is the obstacle to a vital place in the adventure of finding the missing sword of power.
T for Tila, wouldn't wanna be ya.
Becoming the sorceress and reuniting with Adam in what looks to be another world or time. Subternia, probably not. Scareglow wouldn't be guarding that. Most likely some sort of secret of Grayskull.
Preternia for show.
Powers of Grayskull. Can't wait to see Hero in animation. I wonder how he's gonna look. Only thing we do know is that he's being voiced by the amazing and talented Phil Lamar. Can't wait to see it. Will they find the missing sword of power in the past? Will the story of the two halves finally be told? So, is this the key to defeating Skeletor once and for all? Which brings me to my final theory point. I do believe so! He-Man's going to go back to the future with secrets from the past unknown even to Jiro the Mighty, that will aid in He-Man defeating Skeletor once and for all. This is a panel from the mini comic I brought up earlier, The Ultimate Battleground. I purposely left it out. It shows He-Man and Skeletor on top of the central tower. This is the weirdest thing, though, guys. I really think that these two figures that we got back in the day when we were kids have a lot to do with what we're going to see. We see that in the Skelegod form, it has that H sign that we saw in He-Man that we just saw in the previous image. I do believe this is Battle Armor Skeletor, just a different name. You can see the similarities in the design.
The final hour of the Central Tower, two would fight for the power.
I think this is connected, folks. I believe that Skeletor somehow gained the secrets of the Central Tower and was able to make this form that we see in the toy line is called Skelegod. I believe on He-Man Adam's journey in the past, he's going to discover some secrets, come back, and kick Skeletor's butt all the way to Disbundos. I do believe this is the conclusion and the epic last final battle of Skeletor and He-Man. Yeah, folks, I think that somehow Adam is going to get a similar form like the Skelegod toy. They haven't teased at it just yet because I'm pretty sure that they're reserving a lot of things. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, I think that this is the perfect opportunity for Mattel to sell as much merchandise as possible, with or without, the whole Universal thing. It's a great opportunity to sell toys, make some money, and everyone's happy, guys. We're going to hear the conclusion of the story. In an all-new epic adventure, only time will tell what's in store. We may get some stuff that we never thought we'd get. Stuff from the Powers of Grayskull line and like a playset of Eternia. Oh my god, like it's the holy grail of Masters of the Universe. Who knows what's gonna happen, but Mattel most definitely has a few cards up their sleeve. What will we see in the Masters of the Universe Origins line and Masterverse? I cannot wait to see what we see in these two toy lines after the
Masters of the Universe Revelation.
But yeah, guys, I do believe He-Man will get a battle armor of his own. The fight will take place at Central Tower, and He-Man will finally defeat his Unky Skeletor. Like he says in the panel, like goodness always triumphs over evil, and that's true, and that's what's going to happen, and you heard it here first, folks.
G-Ro! The most powerful G in the universe!
Before I wrap up, let's talk quickly about what I didn't mention. What untold adventure will Teela have? Will she find her snake armor in the past versus the Snake Men? Or maybe the Reptons? Will she get to say goodbye to her mother? Will her sorceress form look more like her mother's? Is Merman still pissed he didn't get to sacrifice baby Teela to a naked demon guy? What role will Old Man-at-Arms play in this tale? Is Lieutenant Spectre gonna be in this adventure that we're gonna see? And is Clamp Champ the Lieutenant badass that we saw in the episode The Rainbow Warrior? What about King Grayskull? Or the fact that the spirit of Grayskull looks just like the faceless one? Did Orko find his amulet? Or was he just faking us the whole time? And do we finally get to see his face? And does he get to reunite with Driel? I take back my earlier statement. Maybe the Cosmic Key has something to do with all this and we get to see Goldor. What about Mossman? If we get to see him, what of Evil Seed? What's in store with Evil Seed? And if we get to see the whole Keldor story, what's going to happen when everybody finds out that Skeletor, King Randor, and hopefully King Miro in the process we get to see as well. Pull my royal finger! And what of Granomir the Wise and all of his dragon pals? What role do they have to play in this tale? I really doubt that they're going to sit around. What about Elena, played and voiced by the amazing, spectacular, wonderful Harley Quinn Smith? What role does Teela's friend have to play in this awesome new story? Don't ever forget about my boy Screech, who is mentioned right here as the barbarian bird. Will Screech the bird look, in fact, like he did in this panel from the original series, or will he look more like his toy form? We'll see. Hopefully we get to see him. Who is this mysterious priestess played by Cree Summer Franks? What role does Lieutenant Andra play? Will she in fact be Tila's love interest, as many fans have speculated? Or do Adam and Tila finally get together, get married, become king and queen of Eternia and Castle Grayskull,
And perhaps Snake Mountain as well.
and then ride off into the sunset, happily ever after? We may never see them again. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me on this adventure. I'm very excited, obviously, for the new Masters of the Universe Revelation series, and I just honestly, it gave me the power to get out of my shell and to make this channel. This is not something that I would ever do, but for He-Man, I do almost anything. So here we are. I got a channel. If you like it, thank you so much. Please subscribe, because there's going to be videos coming out very soon. And yeah, share it with your friends, and give a like and comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to say of all this stuff. I'm sorry the video is not perfect. I really tried my best to come out with it and as quick as I could. And yeah, thank you so much. Love all you guys, and most importantly, be kind to each other. Good journey, and until next time.